So you saw my last video, we talked about why my wife and I moved here from Dallas 10 years ago, why we continue to call Oklahoma home, and why we still love living here. I do want to share with you the three things about living in Oklahoma that, from an outsider's perspective, someone who's not from here, makes my head spin a little bit. And this is going to be all opinion. I've lived in Colorado, Pennsylvania, Oregon, Texas, Arkansas. Oklahoma is where we called home for the last 10 years, but I do want to share with you the things about Oklahoma that, from an outsider's perspective, really, really will make your head spin, kind of confuse you a little bit, maybe makes a little bit kind of a nervous situation about the idea of even moving here to begin with. And I want to put those at ease in this video. So let's lead off with number one, the weather. The weather in Oklahoma is absolutely some of the well, it's crazy weather. Let's be honest. The weather in Oklahoma is beautiful in the summer, great spring, great fall. Winters can be very hit or miss. Winter can be 70 degrees and comfortable with a light breeze. You can go outside, jeans, nice pants, or shorts. I have worn shorts in December outside in Oklahoma. Or you go into January through about March, and then it's probably going to be brutally cold. You're probably going to get ice. You're probably going to get snow. Wind chills are going to be in the single, if not negative digits. Your air temperature before the wind chill might even be in the low sub freezing slash single digit or negative digit temperatures as well too. We have seen it. Past couple years, we have had days where it is just that biting level of cold. So winter, it's you do get snow. It's more of a risk for ice. We'll dig into the ice and snow problem in Oklahoma that kind of coincides with the roads and how I feel about those after living in some other parts of the country. Um, but realistically, the weather isn't terrible all year round. Summer, again, just really hot. Fall, it's the second tornado season, just like the spring is the first tornado season. When that cold air in the spring starts shifting out and the warm air comes in, we start getting a lot more storms, a lot more tornado action starts happening. You just got to be prepared for that. Summer, again, hot, 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 and humid. And then fall hits, and fall is, well, they lovingly refer to it as the second tornado, second storms part of the season. It's that warm air starting to shift out and the cold air starting to come back in. And as that starts to happen, the storms start firing up again all over again, and it feels like spring. Um, Usually means we're going to get plenty of rain. Usually means the winters are going to be pretty good as well too. But you just kind of know as that shift starts to happen, you're going to go from warm to cold. Just be prepared. It's going to be storm season. You'll kind of get used to it after you've been here for a little while, but it's not terrible. Number two, the roads. The roads in Oklahoma can be very hit or miss. If it is a turnpike road or a turnpike, the roads are probably very well maintained. It's probably pretty smooth, probably in really good shape. Probably doesn't have a lot of potholes or a lot of sections where it's falling apart. Um, those are some of the best roads to drive on. They also have some of the higher speed limits because they're highway. They just cost money to ride on. That is the only downside to those. The rest of the roads, once we start talking about city, state, county roads that are being maintained by those entities, it starts to get a little bit more chaotic. Um, the roads aren't poorly maintained. Like, you're not going to just like drive into a pothole that's going to eat your car, but you will probably at certain times of the year find that there are potholes that will eat your tire. Um, it's not so much on the turnpikes and some of the main highways, the interstates. You don't really get into a lot of those situations. It's a lot of the more like arterial roads, neighborhood roads, stuff like that start to really kind of crumble apart and come apart during the winter. And then into the spring with the rain and the moisture in the water. Just because our soil here is kind of a silty, sandy clay, everything shifts and moves so much that it does eventually cause issues with the roads. My recommendation is if you're planning to move to Oklahoma and you're about to get a new set of tires, if it is a national chain, like let's say Firestone, for instance, and they offer you a lifetime alignment and balance package, please buy it. You will save this money up front. I know it sucks, but it's going to save you in the long run. You're going to have your tires lost a lot longer. And then when you go to get your tires rotated every 6 months in Oklahoma, like you probably should because the roads are pretty rough, you're going to prolong the life of your tires. You're not going to be spending money on tires, having them prematurely wear out. So the roads in Oklahoma, they're not the worst I've been on, but they're definitely not the best. They're far from it. And then, not even to mention what happens in the winter out here. All the focus is on the highways and the interstates just to make sure that commerce can move about and through the state as it needs to. But arterial roads, neighborhood roads, if it snows and ices and the weather folks and the news folks say stay home, please stay home. Even if you have all-wheel drive, four-wheel drive, it ain't worth it because there's plenty of other people out there who don't have that and don't know how to drive on this stuff that will drive. You're probably going to get in a wreck because of them. I always tell people, I'm not worried about me. I'm worried about everybody else. So the number three item, the number three little thing about Oklahoma that makes my head spin is, as central as the state is, why we don't have a pro sports team other than the Oklahoma City Thunder is beyond me. We've got the room for it, we got the space, and we have the fan base for it too. When you really narrow it down at the end of the day, there are three big college football teams, OSU, OU, and the University of Tulsa. You have three college teams in this area that have a very big following. We could have a pro football team here in Oklahoma. It would be doable. It would be fun. It would be something that I think would generate more revenue for the state as well too, just because we would get people traveling from out of state into state, bringing money, and, well, they'd be tourists. Let's be honest. If you've never been to Oklahoma City, the Riverwalk is absolutely fantastic, and it's right by everything. If they put one in Tulsa, downtown Tulsa has a lot to offer that's really nice. But not having a pro sports team beyond just the Oklahoma City Thunder, I think is a missed opportunity for the state. That being said, the lack of pro sports teams also probably means that's why our taxes are significantly lower, because we're not paying for the subsidies to get those teams here, for the buildings, for the land, anything like that. So there is kind of a little give and take there. But the one thing I think that Oklahoma could use is some more pro sports teams. I do believe the Tulsa soccer team is a pro team as well too, but we need some baseball or some football here. I'm just going to be honest. If we had that here, a pro team in Oklahoma City and a pro team in Tulsa, that would be fantastic, and it would generate more revenue. So I think it's very possible. After living in different parts of the country, I mean, don't get me wrong, Oregon had the Trailblazers. That was, I think, about it. They didn't have a pro hockey team or anything else beyond that, but they did have pro racing. There was a race car circuit in Portland that they raced at once a year. All that to say, Oklahoma is a fantastic place to live. There are some great advantages to it, but just know that just like with every state, there's going to be things that maybe just aren't perfect, and that's okay. And we know that that's going to be the case no matter where you go. If you are thinking about making that move to Oklahoma, if you have questions about what it's like to live here, feel free to reach out to me. Let me know how I can help out. Let me know what answers I can give you in regards to preparing to move here. And I'd be happy to assist in any way with making that move to the state as smooth and as easy as possible, especially if you're coming from somewhere else. I want to make sure that it's a great experience for you once you get here.